The vtwin engine, known for its 45-degree angle, has been synonymous with Harley-Davidson ever since the company introduced its first vtwin model in 1909. Harley-Davidson quickly became an icon in the United States, with its reputation growing exponentially and becoming known worldwide. The evolution of the vtwin engine continued when, in 1991, Matthew Chambers founded Confederate Motor Company. Chambers, a visionary entrepreneur in the motorcycle world, started the company with a vision to create motorcycles that were not only powerful and fast, but also bold and uniquely designed. Confederate Motor Company quickly gained attention for its radical design approach and technical innovation. This led to the creation of their first motorcycle, the Hellcat, which became a symbol of strength and design beauty. The Hellcat was known for its exceptional performance and striking design, setting a high standard for future Confederate motorcycles. The company's story became even more intriguing when Chambers met JT Nesbitt, a talented designer with a creative vision and ambition to create something extraordinary in the motorcycle world. Nesbitt himself was a passionate journalist and designer in the motorcycle world. His interest in unique and radical motorcycle designs led him to Confederate Motor Company, where he first met Matthew Chambers. This meeting occurred when Nesbitt was searching for an interesting story to cover and heard about the innovations being developed by Chambers at Confederate. Chambers quickly recognized Nesbitt's talent and creative vision, and the two found common ground in their enthusiasm for pushing the boundaries of motorcycle design. It wasn't long before Chambers invited Nesbitt to join Confederate Motor Company as the lead designer. Nesbitt eagerly accepted, joining the team to develop innovative projects that would not only change the way people viewed motorcycles, but also how they rode them. Initially, Nesbitt was tasked with redesigning the Hellcat, one of Confederate's iconic models. However, it soon became clear that simply redesigning the Hellcat wasn't enough to fulfill Nesbitt's ambition to create something truly new and bold in the motorcycle world. He wanted to explore more radical and experimental ideas that weren't confined by previous designs. This is where the idea for creating the Wraith was born. Instead of merely improving an existing design, Nesbitt decided to start from scratch and design an entirely new motorcycle. JT Nesbitt then designed the Wraith using leftover scrap materials and Bondo resin, utilizing his creativity to turn unused materials into a stunning piece of mechanical art. The project started as a visual experiment without a concrete plan for production, but soon attracted attention for its radical and unique design. Nesbitt envisioned the Wraith with a semicircular main frame and front suspension using multi-link girder forks with carbon fiber blades. These ideas were first fleshed out with endless sketches and scale models, progressing in late 2003 when Nesbitt built a full-sized but non-running concept around a Harley-Davidson XR 750 power plant. The machine was utterly alien in appearance. A rolled aluminum backbone served as the frame, with the rear shock mounted inside the spine at the rear, supporting a single-sided swing arm. A multi-link girder fork with carbon fiber blades, inspired by the Britain Vi 1000, was suspended by a coilover shock set in parallel with the steering head. A simple leather saddle was perched on the frame with no subframe, the old-world seating contrasted by narrow sporting clip-ons on the front end. Bodywork was limited to a scoop-shaped belly pan wrapped around the sump of the engine and tightly fitted fenders on the wheels. The engine took center stage, exposed and menacing within the otherwise graceful curves of the chassis, fed by a pair of open carburetors and vented through a shapely heat-wrapped 2-into-1 header. It looked like an elemental, stripped-down beast of a machine, little more than a motor with a seat attached. The Wraith was first introduced to the public on the cover of the inaugural issue of Robb Report Motorcycling in the spring of 2004. The magazine was known for showcasing luxury vehicles and the latest innovations in the automotive industry. The Wraith's appearance on the cover immediately caught the attention of motorcycle enthusiasts and collectors worldwide. The public's response to the Wraith was enthusiastic. Motorcycle fans and collectors quickly realized that the Wraith was not an ordinary motorcycle, but a unique and innovative piece of mechanical art. The Wraith's popularity soared when it won second place in the concept bike category. from the Motorcycle Design Association of France in December 2004. This award further solidified the Wraith's reputation as an impressive and visionary motorcycle. Despite receiving a lot of attention, there were no immediate plans for mass production or even a functional prototype initially. The main challenge that Nesbitt and his team faced was how to bring this radical design into production. Many changes and refinements needed to be made to ensure that the Wraith was not only impressive in terms of design, but also reliable and high-performing on the road. Brian Case, an engineer with a great passion for motorcycles, joined the Confederate team to help develop their innovative projects. This meeting proved crucial in the journey of the Wraith. After the idea for creating the Wraith emerged, Nesbitt and Case began working together to bring their vision to life. Case, with his technical expertise, played a key role in transforming Nesbitt's sketches and concepts into more detailed designs using computer-aided design, CAD technology. With the help of CAD, they were able to refine every detail of the Wraith, ensuring that the design was not only beautiful but also functionally optimal. Finally, after Brian Case laid out the monocoque frame that would be applied to the Wraith, the design began to be further developed. Nesbitt and Case used a U-shaped aluminum shell that wrapped around the bottom of the engine, held together with fore and aft bulkheads fastened with shoulder bolts that penetrated through the shell and locked the skin into the bulkheads. The 14-pound carbon fiber backbone also doubled as an oil tank for the dry sump engine. The Wraith used a 1,490 cubic centimeter vtwin engine, built by Revolution Performance for Confederate. The engine was fitted with two massive 48mm Super G carburetors, a reversed rear cylinder head, and Confederate's signature vertically stacked 6-speed transmission. It produced 125 horsepower at 7,400 revolutions per minute and 104 pounds per foot of torque at the rear wheel. With a semi-wet weight of 425 pounds without fuel, this combination of lightweight and massive torque delivered impressive performance. The Wraith's wheelbase was 58.5 inches, with a rake of 27 degrees, fitted with 17-inch wheels that could accommodate sport bike-sized rubber. The rear wheel was a 5.5-inch wide Marchesini forged alloy, wrapped in 180mm Metzeler rubber, with suspension supplied by Traction Dynamics, consisting of a modified Penske shock at the rear and a custom damper for the unique front end. Once the Wraith prototype was finished in August 2004, the Confederate team decided to test the bike at Bonneville Salt Flats. Chris Roberts, a Confederate electrician who had assembled the electrical system on the Wraith prototype and all of Confederate's production bikes, volunteered to ride the prototype for the test. Despite having no experience at Bonneville, Roberts bravely rode the prototype across the famously slick salt flats. The test results showed that the Wraith could reach speeds of over 139 miles per hour. This success bolstered Confederate's reputation at Bonneville and cemented the Wraith's position as one of the most impressive motorcycles in Confederate's history. The Wraith then underwent revisions to its suspension, where the coil-over shock mounted ahead of the steering head was replaced with a spring enclosed within the steering neck. This system was damped with a cartridge filled with hydraulic fluid. Essentially, it was a rearrangement of the internal components of a telescopic fork applied in a unique way, with the suspension centered along the steering axis. The spring was connected to the forks by a pull rod mounted to a rising rate linkage, pulling down from the bottom of the steering head to compress the spring via a plunger cap mounted above. With these changes, the Wraith became even more advanced and innovative, solidifying its position as one of the most impressive motorcycles in Confederate's history. These revisions not only enhanced performance and stability, but also added a more futuristic and unique design touch. The development of the Wraith continued, with production expected to begin in the fall of 2005. The initial retail price was targeted at $47,500, later revised to $55,000. The first Wraith was set to launch on Halloween night. However, in late August, while Chambers and Nesbitt were in the Middle East discussing a business deal, they watched CNN reports of Hurricane Katrina heading for New Orleans, Katrina, one of the most destructive storms in U.S. history, devastated the Confederate factory and flooded 80% of New Orleans. After returning, Nesbitt helped employees find safe places, but the Confederate factory was destroyed and needed a complete overhaul. The decision was made to relocate the factory to Birmingham, Alabama, where Brian Case and Edward Jacobs took over the Wraith project, developing the bike with a new yet still revolutionary vision. Meanwhile, Nesbitt, who remained loyal to New Orleans and refused to leave, founded Bonneville Studios with Dave Hargreaves to continue his uncompromising industrial design in the heart of the French Quarter.
Welcome to Bonneville Studios. My name is JT Nesbitt. Today we're filming in the lounge section upstairs of the studio. And I'd like to take a couple of minutes to talk about a really special motorcycle. It's special to me.